ask our clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Abbott,
Present.
trustee Krusek,
Present.
trustee Page,
Present.
trustee Martinez,
Present.
trustee Blair,
Present.
trustee Kagan,
Present.
Mayor Cunningham.
Present.
Quorum established.
Thank you very much. If you would please join us with a moment of silence, and we're going to dedicate this to Marge and Brian and their family, letting them know our thoughts and prayers are with them during this time of loss in their family. So if you wouldn't mind just joining us in a moment of silence. Thank you very much. We'll now do the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm going to ask Jan Flores and our Community Development Department if they would please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We welcome everyone, and this evening under special awards, we do have a very special award this evening, and I would like to invite Eric Alwyn from our Community Development Department to please come forward. This is regarding the first item under special awards, Resolution 2022-97. This is where the Village of Woodridge has an employee recognition program, and each quarter an employee receives recognition by his or her employee peers. And we are very excited to announce our fourth quarter for this year and ask for Eric to please lead us in this.
Okay, well, I'd like to introduce Jan Flores. As our fourth quarter employee of the quarter. Jan's been with us about 10 years now, just over 10 years. And she has been just a great employee with us and all the way through. I wasn't totally prepared for this. I wasn't
Oh,
expecting.
I'm sorry.
But
I'm very sorry.
no, I'm sorry. And actually, somebody have a copy of the nomination?
We have a copy of it. You know what, I may. You have it. Oh, thank you.
I'm sorry.
Yep, that's okay. No, I'm so sorry to do that to you. Nothing like being put right on the spot first thing of the meeting.
Lisa, she was nominated by her coworker, Lisa. And so she, okay, that's the resolution.
Can I help you out?
Yes,
Do you mind? Okay, thank you. So Jan, it is our honor to be able to recognize you after being nominated by one of your very close peers in your department for your outstanding work. And this is something that has been a long history with you. You've always gone above and beyond and served our neighbors in an outstanding manner, as well as your colleagues here at the village, always helping out in any way possible. And it truly means so much to everyone, and it makes all the difference here at the village. It's a wonderful team of people, very dedicated to helping our community and all of our neighbors, as well as each team member here at the village. So this recognition is in your honor. We are publicly commending you this evening after 10 years, and we have the resolution in front of us. Eric, is there anything you might want to point out from, because you work with Jan every day, so.
just that she is an amazing employee that has done a lot for the village. She's our permit technician. She runs through she touches every permit that the village issues. And in the last several years, and especially the tornado year where we had over 2,200 permits, Jan does an amazing job of keeping them on track and keeping them moving forward. Again, this year, as we go through, we continue to see a very high level of permits that we're issuing, and she continues to do just an amazing job of keeping them together and being able to keep them closed and organized. She also ends up overseeing all of the scanning that we do, all of our record keeping, and keeps the files just as clean and organized as they can be. She's very good at all of that, and does all of that. Jan also has recently announced her intention to retire, so we have a position that we need to fill, and just big shoes to fill as well. So it's just good for you, bad for the village, and but we'll wish you well on your next endeavors, and that's coming up April, right? So May, yep. And that's just a little bit about Jan. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm so sorry. Thank you very much. And Jan, really, it is our honor to recognize you this evening. So I'm going to bring forth a resolution in a moment, but I wanted to ask, you've been here 10 years. We thank you so much for your service and all of your diligence and good works, and really always going above and beyond, and especially in a time after the tornado. I know that that was incredibly stressful, but you were able to work through it. And I know you tried to give everyone your undivided attention and work as quickly as you could to get through everything. And it means so much to everyone, which is another reason why you are being recognized by your colleagues. So thank you so much for your exemplary and outstanding work here at the village. Would you like to say anything? No?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we do have before us the resolution 2022-97. I'm asking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Page, and a second.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Martinez. And if I could please ask our clerk to call the roll.
Trustee Abbott,
Aye.
trustee Krusek. Aye. Trustee Page,
Aye.
trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair,
Aye.
trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much, everyone. And congratulations, Jan, and to you and your family and your team here this evening. And on your upcoming retirement, but we'll hold off on that as long as we can. And now we do have another wonderful recognition this evening, although again, it is happy and sad at the same time, but happy for our finance director who is here this evening with her husband. I think he's still here. Rick, is he here? Okay, there he is. Hi, Rick. And our administrator.
Thank you, Mayor
Share
Cunningham.
stage.
I'm going to ask our finance director, Nadine Leto, just join me up here.
We also
moment.
just say that there is a wonderful picture show that will be going on now of our finance director who's been with us for 10 years. So
That was my first day.
the hair is a little different.
A little bit. Thank you, Mayor Cunningham, members of the board. Good evening. It's my pleasure to bring Nadine forward here for what is a very fitting public recognition of her service, her long service to the village of Woodridge. It's a bittersweet sort of announcement, but a few months ago, Nadine did announce her retirement from village service. Her last day is not today, it's January 13th, so we get her for a little longer. This will be her last and final board meeting with us. And so we thought, what better opportunity here to recognize her. A little background and history on Nadine. She had a 10-year anniversary with the village just last month. Prior to village employment, she was the finance director of the village of Winfield, the assistant finance director of Westmont before that, and then also spent time as the assistant director in Hanover Park. She's a master's in public administration and is also a certified public finance officer. There are very few of those certified individuals throughout the country, and it is the highest distinction and certification offered by the Government Finance Officers Association. The expertise and knowledge in government finance that it certainly distinguishes her in her field, but also the commitment to professional and ethical standards as well. Her accomplishments span many here at the village over those 10 years, but financial transparency, really improving those over time, has been an outstanding testament to Nadine in developing new reporting, OpenGov software platform, and enhanced website reporting, really to make our information both available to the public, easily accessible, and also most importantly, understandable. She has also received numerous IGFA awards on behalf of the village, as the board knows, every year winning annual financial report awards, budget award reports, and also popular annual financial reports as well. This year, we were announced to be the Triple Crown winner, which there are very, very few in this country. And we thank you so much, Nadine, for leading those efforts. Clean audits are a testament to a great finance director, and we've had many of those under her watch, thankfully. She transitioned us from a May 1 fiscal year budget to a calendar year budget. Remember that, board? So that was a big process as well, and not an easy transition. She helped us transition from our new ERP IT system, right, for financial software, going from HTE, our legacy system, to Munis. That was a huge intergovernmental partnership and collaboration, but obviously the backbone of that system is financially related. And so she was deeply involved and helped deeply, make sure that that was broadcast throughout the entire organization and used to the greatest degree that it is. She's enhanced convenience payment processing for our residents over the years through recurring credit card payments, bank services RFPs. She's developed numerous board financial policies and worked with you as a board, you'll know, over the last several years, a debt balance, debt funding, fund balance, investment fund balance. Police pension funding policy was a really big initiative a few years ago that she led and worked with you as a board to really develop a new policy around making sure that we have a sustainable funding solution in place to make sure we're making our long-term commitments on the police pension fund. Water rate analysis as well has been just instrumental in providing us a long-term plan, a financial strategy, and working with you as a board to sustain our infrastructure as it becomes due. She's also led us through financial turbulence, right, through COVID and loss of some major sales tax generators back in 2016 and 2017 as well. Facilities improvement project financial plan. Obviously, we're building over there on Janes right now and helping us put together a bonding strategy. She's kept us through her financial stewardship in the upper tiers of our bond ratings with the rating agencies. She was a key negotiator in the Seven Bridges Golf Agreement this last go around, which has resulted in already $500,000 in net new revenues to the village. She's been the treasurer of the police pension fund. She's sat on the finance committee for our DUCOM, which is our regional 911 dispatch center. She's sat on numerous committees for our Intergovernmental Risk Management Agency, and I can go on and on and on. A little bit of Nadine's personal side of Nadine. Her husband here is Rick, who has certainly been extremely supportive. Rick, and thank you so much for sharing Nadine with us over these 10 years, and we do thank you. And now, Rick, I know that Nadine now has no excuse to go on any road trips with you to neighboring states of the Union, correct? So we'll certainly look forward to seeing some photos from that. Nadine has a daughter, a son, several dogs. She is also a distinguished fishery professional. She has really painstakingly reared many tropical fish over her career. And Rick loves to go find new water tanks for the fish as well and shop for them. She has several grandchildren. She just welcomed Luca recently, and soon she'll be pleased to trade in her chief financial officer designation for chief grandma in charge, where her main duties will be spoiling and caring for her grandchildren, we know. Nadine's skills and abilities run the gamut, but able to synthesize, distill, and translate and communicate complex financial information. I think we all would agree that has just been a knack of hers. Staff development, cross-training, succession planning has been outstanding, and really how she leads and develops her team. She takes an active role in her team. Her high integrity, great work ethic, positive energy, good sense of humor, and she is probably one of the most festive individuals on our team when it comes to holidays. She's arguably the queen of Halloween, leading the finance department's costume ensembles during her tenure here. She's been our venerable Village Hall Mrs. Claus, as well as I understand, and has dutifully coordinated our Secret Santa program here at the Village Hall for many, many years. And she has really single-handedly kept the village on a cutting edge of hairstyles and hair color, sort of as she has evolved over the years, right, and has really kept us in style all the time. But that's a lot about Nadine's knowledge, her experience, her skills, and her gifts. But I'm going to leave you with this to talk about who Nadine is as a person. And I'm going to refer to Arthur Berg, who is a resident of Woodridge. He sent this letter in specifically for Woodridge that speaks to her as an individual. Dear sir, during the Village of Woodridge's 60th anniversary parade on September 28, 2019, I was a spectator standing in the cool mist and the rain. I had one hand holding up my umbrella and the other holding a cane for support. I wasn't in the position to be standing very long, but along came Nadine, and without even asking, approached me and offered a seat in her roofed golf cart that she was in so that I could be out of the weather and be able to view the parade. Nadine was so very considerate of my situation and knew exactly how she could be helpful. Her friendly manner to me was a real comfort. And after the parade, Nadine even went out of her way to take me back to my car over near Hoffer's house. Such a gracious lady she is, and I'm so thankful for her assistance that day. Please, by nature of this note, I'd appreciate you extending my sincere thanks to Nadine for her kindness to me. As a World War II veteran, age 96, an extra lift to help continue my life and enjoy that parade was given to me by Nadine that day. Signed, sincerely, Arthur Berg. Nadine, on behalf of the Mayor Cunningham and the Board of Trustees, I want to extend our sincere, warmest appreciation for your dedicated service to this community. It has been a pleasure working with you. I will miss you sincerely. And your financial stewardship has been just top notch. And we thank you so much. And I've got a little gift from the board here for you.
Thank you.
There you are. And I'm going to turn it over to you. Congratulations on your retirement. Mhm.
Oh my gosh, I'm like overwhelmed, and I'm not usually too much of a crier. Thank you, Al, for that was very moving. And I had to bring my notes because everybody knows every time I come up here, I don't come without my notes. So I want to make sure I say thanks to everybody that is deserving of this. And I'm sure that I could be here all night, and at some point you'll probably play some music and like in the Oscars and make me leave. But first and foremost, I really do want to thank my husband who is in the audience tonight. And today is actually our anniversary of our first date. 38 years ago. So he's just been my rock and my source of support. And he has encouraged me to go above and beyond my capabilities. And I wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for him. And so thank you. And I love you. And I cannot wait to start spending some time with him. He's been retired for almost 6 years. So I'm looking forward to each and every day with him. I want to thank former Administrator Katie Rush and some of the members here that were on the board actually when I was hired. And so I thank you for your trust in me and the faith that you gave me and the opportunity. And so I do hope that I lived up to your expectations. I have enjoyed my 10 years here. As I was telling some of you earlier, this is nowhere near as long as many of the employees that have worked here. And that's just a testament to how absolutely wonderful Woodridge is. But it is the longest I've ever worked for an employer. So I hope that says a little bit about all of you and all the people that I work with on a day-to-day basis. So I want to thank my fellow department heads and all my staff. And these are, as you all know, amazing group of people. And I am honored to be counted among them for the years that I have been. So I'm going to miss them incredibly much. And I plan to come back every once in a while and just check on things. I've also asked them to keep me abreast of some items here so that I can come back and show my face every once in a while. Thank you to the current board as well. All of you have supported me and my staff unconditionally. And so that means everything when you're a department head to know that the board is behind you and supports you. And you've just lifted me up and be able to help me do the best job I can for the Village of Woodridge. I thank the residents for having their faith in me as well. So I don't know what else to say other than I am so moved by all of this. And thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. So Director Leto, Nadine, and Rick, our heartfelt appreciation for 10 incredible years of service to our community and for all of us. Just outstanding team leadership, your spirit and energy always beyond, and you always worked in excellence. And I know that that was a continued legacy here at the Village, and we thank you very much for that and for always going above and beyond. It is something that we all appreciate, and just know it's just part of who you are and how you lead your team and how you work here. So you definitely will be missed. I know we've got a little more time together, but you know, it's wonderful to be able to be retired together with your husband, Rick, and just happy and best trails as you go on and enjoy kind of the fine hours of retirement that are ahead of you both.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations
Thank you.
very much. Thank you very much. And just a quick note on Mr. Berg. So Mr. Berg had called me to let me know and said he was going to write a letter. And he didn't share that letter with me, but I've known Mr. Berg for over 50 years. He's one of Woodridge's original neighbors, and he's unfortunately has passed. But he's a wonderful, wonderful person. And when he talked to me about that, I also had to get Kleenex because it just was, I know you and I know that's how you are, but to have a neighbor and someone that I know get so touched and moved by that. And wonderfully, as you're walking into the village hall, or actually as you're leaving here, there is a picture that his wife painted that's on the board out there that was donated to the village of this area from many, many years ago. So the Bergs lived in Woodridge for over 60 years and raised their family here. And it was one of the most awesome calls I ever had. So thank you very much. Thank you again. So our next item was going to be an introduction of the executive director of our West Suburban Community Pantry in Woodridge, Sue Armato. Unfortunately, Sue is under the weather. So we will probably see her hopefully in January. The West Suburban Community Pantry has a long and incredible history here in Woodridge, but serves all of DuPage County and also beyond DuPage County into Will County. So we look forward to seeing her, and we hope that she is feeling much better very quickly. I know she was very sad she could not be here, but I did want to pass that message along that I'm sorry she won't be here this evening. Okay, so we're going to now move to public comment, and this is the public comment portion of our meeting. And so I'm going to ask if our village attorney would maybe start us off with the first comment that we're going to share with everyone this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to advise the public, and for the record, there were several items that were scheduled to be heard today, considering the property at 12S355 and 12S381 Lamont Road, including a request to authorize the execution of an annexation agreement, as well as certain zoning and special use approvals. Earlier today, the village was advised by the applicant that they no longer wish to move forward with the proposed project in the village. As such, the applicant has withdrawn its application, and the following items have been stricken from the agenda. Item 10M, which was proposed resolution 2022-93, item 10N, which was proposed ordinance 2022-67, and item 10O, which was proposed ordinance 2022-68.
Thank you very much. So comments from the public. So our first public comment portion of the agenda this evening relates specifically to our proposed tax levy and abatement ordinances. I'm going to ask if we are ready to present this evening. Director Aletto, welcome back up.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, thank you very much, Mayor and Board, for letting me be here tonight to present the 2022 property tax levy for both the village and the library. I'm going to start out with the village's levy. This year's levy request for 2022 is $3,340,000, which is an increase of $14,000. And that's the result of capturing the increase in our equalized assessed valuation from any of the new properties that came on our tax rolls last year. So based on the information that we've been able to obtain from our township assessors, we are projecting a total EAV growth to be about 2.1%. And that's going to increase our total equalized assessed valuation, or otherwise known as EAV, to $1.4 billion. Now, 100% of this year's levy is going to fund police pensions. It's been like that for the last several years. And we've needed to have all of our property taxes go towards pensions. And even that then has not been enough to cover the annual required contribution. We are short this coming year by $691,000. So that amount will be made up through general revenues. And that's what we've been doing for the past several years. As you can see on the graph here, property taxes make up about 13% of our total general fund revenues, and our total revenues equal 26.6 million. This chart here shows the impact of an estimated property owner's tax bill. So if we take based on our proposed levy of $3,340,000 and our expected growth of 2.1% in our value of our properties, our village's tax rate is estimated to be 0.2398. That is a reduction in our tax rate from this year's rate of 0.2414. Our tax rate is declining. That's because the EAV is outpacing the increase that we're increasing the levy. So we're expecting more growth in our EAV than what we're increasing the levy by. So the chart that you're looking at here is the amount of property taxes that the village will receive for every $100,000 of market value of the property. So for example, if you own a property with a market value of $300,000, you can be expected to pay approximately $240 in property taxes to the village next year. That is down from $241 this current year. And because next year's tax rate will be lower than this year, there's going to be a reduction that's about 52 cents for every $100,000. So you can just multiply it based off of the market value of your home if you're wanting to know approximately how much you'll pay to us next year. So we like to show this graph, and the board has seen this for many years, and I just think it's very informative. And so this is a dollar bill here. And so for every dollar of property tax that a property owner pays, only about 3 cents goes to the village and 3 cents goes to the library. The remaining amount is mostly for our school districts, and that goes to support our schools. So this is our debt service. The village currently has 4 bond issues, and the debt services on for next year total just a little over $2.4 million. Now, the village has not levied property taxes to service our debt for many years. And so what we do is we use other revenue sources for that, and we abate the property taxes. So by abating the property taxes on this, we're saving the community money in property taxes, right? And this has been a goal of the board for many years to do that. We do have 3 special service areas within the village. SSA number 1 is 7 Bridges. It is established in 1989. It does pay for maintenance and repairs to the stormwater system in that area. This year's levy request is $43,178. That equates to a projected tax rate of 3 cents. And that means about $60 for a home in that area worth $600,000. Our second special service area is number 3, that is Richfield Place. That was established in 1997. Also pays for stormwater improvements in that area. Next year's levy request is $7,632. That's a tax rate of 16 cents. And it means about $269 for a home with a market value of $500,000. Our last special service area is number 5. That's in Timber's Edge. This also is for stormwater maintenance in that area. Next year's levy request is $8,891. That equates to a projected tax rate of 3 cents and about $50 for a home with a market value of $500,000 in that area. That concludes the village's levy. I'm going to just briefly touch on the library's levy. Director Pam Dubé is in the audience and is able to answer any questions if you may have any. So the library's total levy is $4,096,341. That is an increase over last year of 4.94%. That equates to an increase of about $10 per household. They approved their levy on their meeting on October 19th, and their levy breakdown has general fund for $3,866,341. $120,000 to pay for their IMRF costs and $110,000 for their FICA. Now you notice that their total revenue pie chart is much different than the villages. So their total revenues for 2023 is $4,204,541. And unlike the village, who has a diversified revenue base, 97% of their revenues come from property taxes. The other 3% is miscellaneous revenues, very small grants, fines, those type of things. The Woodridge Library expenditures total the same amount as the revenues, $4,204,541. Their most the greatest expense is personnel at 63%. And as a service-based business, we would expect that that would be their most cost. You also have some program materials, professional services, repair and maintenance, and some small ancillary costs. And Mayor, that concludes my presentation. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. We do want to first recognize Director Dubay, who is here this evening. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you for all the wonderful works through our library. I'm going to ask my fellow board members if anyone has any questions at this point. Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. So we'll go ahead, and we're still in public comment. So going to ask if there have been any public comments received on this prior to the meeting, Administrator Stonich?
For comments related to items not on the agenda, received one earlier from Joseph Biondo, and that copies have been received by the entire board, and the comment will be entered in the public record.
Thank you very much.
And if I may, just so the record's clear, because those items that were stricken earlier from the agenda, there were numerous public comments that were received. Those all have been received and read by the Board of Trustees. But since those matters are no longer on the record, it'd be appropriate to note them now. Or no longer on the agenda, excuse me.
Attorney Pat, are you asking me to enter those into the record?
No, because I'm just simply items not on the agenda. I want to make sure that those who submitted comments understood that the Board of Trustees did all receive and read those comments.
Thank you very much. So we'll go ahead now and open it up to everyone here this evening. If you would like to make any public comments that are items that are not on this evening's agenda, I would invite you up to the podium, please. Okay, seeing no one, we will go ahead and move on. Now we'll move to comments that are on our agenda this evening. Okay.
Mayor, we have not received any prior written comments.
Okay, thank you very much. If anyone in our audience would like to address the village board on items that are on our agenda this evening, we would invite you to the podium at this time. Okay, thank you again for being here this evening. We're going to go ahead and move on to our omnibus agenda for this evening. Going to ask the board for a motion, please, to approve items A through H and the acceptance of I and J. Motion, please. So moved. Thank you, Trustee Blair. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Krusek. Any discussion related to this item? I'm sorry. Any request for any item to be separately considered this evening? Seeing none, if our administrator would please read the items that appear on the agenda.
Thank you, Mayor Cunningham. First item A, ordinance 2022-71, an ordinance granting approval of a minor amendment to a final plan for regional plan unit development for the retreat at 7 Bridges on Double Eagle Drive. Item B, ordinance 2022-72 is an ordinance granting approval of a minor amendment to a final plan of the McAdams Regional Plan Unit Development for this is the Edward Don Building over at 9801 Adam Don. Item C, ordinance 2022-73 is a conservation easement abrogation for 1512 Linden Circle in Oak Bluff Estates. Item D, ordinance 2022-74 is an ordinance authorizing disposal of personal property owned by the Village of Woodridge. Item E, resolution 2022-98, resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement by and between the Village of Woodridge and the Woodridge Park District for the purchase and sale of real property. These are the Crabtree Creek lots associated with a sanitary sewer project that is forthcoming next year. Item F, resolution 2022-99, a resolution authorizing the village administrator to execute a final balancing change order number 1 with Len Cox and Sons Excavating. This is for the Cobb Drive drainage improvements. Item G, resolution 2022-100, resolution to waive the competitive bidding process and authorize the village administrator to execute an agreement to purchase fuel through Citgo Fleet for 2023. Item H, resolution 2022-101, resolution authorizing the mayor and village clerk to execute a certain extension agreement between the Village of Woodridge and Johnson Controls, Inc. for HVAC maintenance services. Item I are the accounts payable registers for November 23rd, December 2nd, and December 5th, 2022. Item J is a credit card register for September 2022. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to ask our clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Krusek,
Aye.
trustee Page,
Aye.
trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Abbott.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. We're going to move right along over to the administrator's report this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Item A, ordinance 2022-75 is an ordinance levying taxes for the village of Woodridge in DuPage County for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023 and ending December 31st, 2023. There is no staff presentation that was done earlier under public comment unless the board has any further questions for Director Leto.
Thank you very much. First, I'm going to ask if there's any questions on this item from any board members. Okay, thank you very much. So we have before us ordinance 2022-75. I'm asking for a motion to approve that ordinance. We have trustee Martinez and a second by trustee Page. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Page,
Aye.
trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Abbott.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Motion passes.
The next item B, ordinance 2022-76, an ordinance levying taxes for the village of Woodridge Public Library for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023 and ending December 31st, 2023.
Thank you very much. Looking for a motion to approve ordinance 2022-76.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Blair. And a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Krusek. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Abbott.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Next item C, ordinance 2022-77, ordinance levying taxes for the village of Woodridge Special Service Area Number 1, DuPage County for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023 and ending December 31st, 2023.
Thank you very much. Looking for a motion to approve ordinance 2022-77, please.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Page. A second, please.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Martinez. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Abbott.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Item D, ordinance 2022-83 is an ordinance levying taxes for the village of Woodridge Special Service Area Number 3, DuPage County, fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023 and ending December 31st, 2023.
Thank you very much. Looking for a motion to approve ordinance 2022-83, please.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Kagan. And a second, trustee Krusek. Thank you very much. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Abbott.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Next item E, ordinance 2022-84, an ordinance levying taxes for the village of Woodridge Special Service Area Number 5, DuPage County, fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023 and ending December 31st, 2023.
Looking for a motion, please, to approve ordinance 2022-84.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Abbott. Second, please.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Blair. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Abbott.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next item F, ordinance 2022-78. It's an ordinance abating portions of the tax levy, of the village of Woodridge, DuPage, Will, and Cook County for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023 and ending December 31st, 2023. The village of Woodridge, $9,075,000 general obligation refunding bond series 24 dated December 30, 2014.
Thank you. Looking for a motion to approve ordinance 2022-78, please.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Martinez. And a second.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Page. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Abbott.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item G, ordinance 2022-79, an ordinance abating portions of the tax levy of the Village of Woodridge, DePage, Will, and Cook County, Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023, and ending December 31st, 2023, for the Village of Woodridge, 3.810 million general obligation refunding bonds, Series 2017, dated December 1st, 2017.
Thank you. Looking for a motion to approve ordinance 2022-79, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Blair, and a second by trustee Kagan. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Page,
Aye.
trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair,
Aye.
trustee Kagan. Trustee Abbott,
Aye.
trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next item H, ordinance 2022-80, an ordinance abating portions of the tax levy for the Village of Woodridge, DePage, Will, and Cook County, Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023, and ending December 31st, 2023, for the Village of Woodridge, $5 million general obligation bond, Series 2019, dated October 17th, 2019.
Looking for a motion to approve ordinance 2022-80.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Page, and a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Abbott. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Abbott.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next item I, ordinance 2022-81, an ordinance abating portions of the tax levy of the Village of Woodridge, DePage, Will, and Cook County, Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023, and ending December 31st, 2023, for the Village of Woodridge, $20 million general obligation bonds, Series 2021, dated July 8th, 2021.
Looking to approve ordinance 2022-81, please. Motion?
moved.
Is that trustee Krusek? Thank you very much. And a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Abbott. Any discussion on this item? Our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Abbott.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next item J, resolution 2022-102, a resolution authorizing the Village of Woodridge to enter into an extension agreement with Stacy McCullough, who is with the law offices of Mirabella, Kincaid, and Frederick and Mirabella LLC.
Looking for a motion, please, to approve resolution 2022-102.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Page. And a second, please.
Second.
Was it trustee Martinez? Okay. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Abbott.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item K, ordinance 2022-82, an ordinance establishing rates of compensation for non-union employees of the Village of Woodridge, 2023 salary administration plan.
Looking to have a motion, please, to approve ordinance 2022-82, please.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Martinez. And a second.
Second.
That trustee Krusek, thank you very much. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Abbott.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next item, ordinance 2022-66 is an ordinance amending the village code of the Village of Woodridge, Title 7, Chapter 5, Section 7-5D-2, water service rates and charges. Director Leto does have a presentation this evening.
Good evening. Thank you again, Mayor and Board. I'm here tonight to talk about our water and sewer rates budgeted for fiscal year 2023. So as you can see here in the chart above here, that the village charges several different rates in relation to our water and sewer fund, which is necessary to pay for our water and sewer operations as well as our infrastructure needs. So the water rate here, currently being charged at $8.49 per 1,000 gallons, is proposed to increase 21 cents for next year. This increase is a direct pass-through of the expected increase from the city of Chicago to purchase the water from Lake Michigan. This is charged by the city of Chicago, charged to DuPage Water Commission, who in turn passes it through to us. This pass-through cost is expected to increase our water rate to $8.70 per 1,000 gallons. We also charge a sewer rate, 90 cents per 1,000 gallons. That's needed to pay the costs associated with transmitting the wastewater to the DuPage County Sanitary District for treatment. This rate will remain the same for 2023. We also have a fixed portion of our water bill. It is called the fixed water maintenance fee. The rate here is a flat rate. It's not based on usage, and it varies in price based on the size of your meter. These rates will also remain the same for 2023. We do have a fairly new charge for the village, and that is the capital improvement fee. This fee was put into place a couple of years ago to begin funding our water main replacements, as our mains are now reaching the end of their useful lives. So this fee is currently 80 cents per 1,000 gallons. And based on feedback from the board's budget workshop on October 20th, tonight's ordinance before you reflects a 30-cent increase to the rate, and that would bring it to $1.10 per 1,000 gallons. We do also service some unincorporated accounts, and those customers pay a surcharge of $4.59 per 1,000 gallons. And also this rate will remain the same for 2023. So here we often get asked what makes up the village's water rate specifically. And so why do we charge what we do for water? And so we put together this graph, and it's a nice visual, I think, that helps explain to our customers how the rate is determined. And so the one that you see on the left here, that's our current water rate at $8.49 per 1,000 gallons. You can see here that the majority of the rate is needed to pay for the cost to purchase our Lake Michigan water. That's the green section. $5.49 per 1,000 gallons is what we pay to buy water. The next 90 cents is needed to maintain our capital infrastructure. So there is a portion of the water rates that also go for capital. Those things, it pays for things such as the lift stations, vehicles and equipment, hydrants, those type of infrastructure improvements. And then we have the remaining $2.10, and that's used really to support the administrative and operational costs of the entire water and sewer system. The second graph there that you see on the right is the makeup of our rate with that expected 21-cent increase from the city of Chicago that I just mentioned. And so you can see what really happens here is just the green portion of that graph increases for next year. The rates for the village will remain the same. So this slide here, it shows the impact of the two proposed rate increases to our average residential user who uses 8,600 gallons of water bi-monthly. So the capital improvement fee, which is used, as I mentioned, to begin funding our water main replacements, is proposed currently tonight based on board feedback at 30 cents per 1,000 gallons. What that means for the average residential user is that is an increase of $2.58 per billing cycle, which is every 2 months, or a total of $15.48 annually. Now, this 30 cents will provide an additional $240,000 in revenues to the village. The other proposed rate increase is the pass-through of the increase from the city of Chicago, that 21 cents that I've been talking about. The average residential user will see an increase in their bi-monthly bill of $1.81 and an annual cost of $10.84. So both charges combined will increase the cost to the average residential user $26.32 annually. It also should be noted that we do not know if DuPage Water Commission is going to increase their rates. Now, we use their transmission lines. They bring the water from the city of Chicago to us. And so we do not know if they plan any rate increase yet this year. Their draft budget comes out usually at the end of January, beginning of February timeframe. And so if they are expected to increase their rates, we will be back before the board to discuss those increases. That is not included at all in tonight's presentation or ordinance. So this slide here is showing the various increases to the capital improvement fee that the board discussed at their October 20th board workshop and the related impact to the average residential customer, as well as the associated revenue to the village to fund the water main replacements. So to give some perspective as to how much this rate can currently fund in today's dollars, it costs about $400 per linear foot of water main, and the village has 140 miles of water main. So that's 739,200 linear feet that we have in the village. So if we have a 30-cent increase to our rate, bringing the rate to $1.10, an estimated 800 million gallons of water that we sell every year, it equals $880,000 in revenues in 1 year. That would pay for 2,200 linear feet of water main replacement. That's less than a half of a mile. At that rate, it would take the village well over 3 times the life cycle of our water mains to fund them as a pay-as-you-go approach. A 45-cent increase would bring the total rate to $1.25 per thousand gallons, result in annual revenues of about $1 million. And at $1 million annually, you get about a half a mile of water mains. And a 60-cent increase to the rate would result in $1.40 per thousand gallons, an annual revenue of $1.12 million. And at that funding level, you get a little bit over a half a mile of water mains that are able to be replaced annually. All right, this last graph I want to show you tonight, it shows the impact to our average residential user. Again, 8,600 gallons every 2 months. The chart that you see on the left, those are our current rates for each of the components of our water bill that I've talked to you about earlier tonight. So the chart on your right here looks at the increase to the average user with the 21-cent increase in cost to purchase the water from the city of Chicago. That's the yellow section. And then the various rate increases to the capital improvement fee shaded in the green section. So in the first column here, you see what a 30-cent increase to our capital improvement fee in addition to that 21 cents of City of Chicago, and that 21 cents is the same across all 3 scenarios. The total annual cost for a resident using 8,600 gallons of water every 2 months, the total cost would be $716.88. That's an annual total increase of $26.32. A 45-cent increase to our capital improvement fee, again with that 21 cent, it brings the total cost to our average water customer to $724.62. That's an increase of $34.06 for the year. And then if we did a 60-cent increase to the fee, along with that 21-cent increase, it would bring the total cost to our average water user to $732.36, resulting in an annual increase of $41.80 to our average annual user. And that concludes my presentation, Mayor. I'm happy to answer any questions that the board may have tonight.
Thank you very much. I'm going to ask my fellow board members if anyone has any questions regarding the presentation or any of the information. Okay, thank you very much. Excellent presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor.
So we're going to. So currently, as written, the motion that is before us, ordinance 2022-66, is for a 30-cent increase in the current rate. Going to ask for a motion, please, to approve the ordinance.
So-
Moved.
Second.
Okay, thank you very much. We have trustee Page and a second by trustee Abbott. Any discussion on this item, please?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, trustee Krusek.
I was in favor of the higher rate, actually 60 cents when we first did this discussion, but as I continue to look at this, I don't think 30 cents is enough. And one way or another, we're going to end up having to pay for these repairs. So I would like to amend the ordinance to ask for a 45-cent increase in the fee.
Thank you very much, trustee Krusek.
All right, so as a, just as a point, there's been a motion on the floor for the motion as written. So the movant and the person who second would have to agree to the proposed amendment.
I do not.
I do not.
Okay, So then it would be voted on as proposed. If it passes, then that's the end of it. If it doesn't pass, certainly someone can make an amended motion.
So we're going to, again, we are talking the 30-cent increase as presented in the ordinance 2022-66. Going to ask our clerk, if there's no further discussion on this item, to please call the roll.
Trustee Krusek,
Nay.
trustee Page,
Aye.
trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair,
Aye.
trustee Kagan,
Nay.
trustee Abbott.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
No further business, Mayor.
Thank you. So if with no further business to come before the village board this evening, do want to send out a note to all of our neighbors and businesses and just on behalf of the Village of Woodridge, the village board, myself, happy holidays to everyone and best wishes for a wonderful new year. And please do take good care of yourselves. We thank you very much for staying connected with the Village of Woodridge and all of us, for shopping local, and for helping to make a difference in any way that you can. We do appreciate it. Happy holidays. With no further business to discuss this evening, I would like to ask a motion, please, to adjourn our village board meeting. So moved. Thank you, trustee Blair. And a second.
Second.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you very much. Our meeting is adjourned at 7:57 PM, and please have a good evening.
You too.